I am the Gorehound.
Wait 1 sec, sorry, I was trying to do a backup recording and I messed it up. Sorry.
This is such a great podcast. Very professional, definitely real.
Clear the air lanes for the big broadcast.
We're not professional podcasters.
Say what?
We barely know what we're doing.
It's funny because it's true.
But we have fun anyway.
I'm here to podcast.
Does everybody know what time it is?
We're going streaking! Yeah!
No, we're not. It's time for movies, pop culture, and more with the all-new Culture Cast, starting now.
I am the Gorehound.
I'm Thor!
And I'm Jen.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast, back for the latest edition. How are you doing, guys?
Doing well. Thanks for having
Absolutely.
me back on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. We are missing our one and only Nick, because he is too busy to sit on his computer for an hour, but I don't know what we're going to do with that guy. So yeah, today we are talking about Victor Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
It's Frankenstein!
Frankenstein. This one is supposed to be kicking off our Halloween month. We were supposed to be doing serious Frankenstein movies, but since Nick decided to bail, we decided to, I decided to keep it a little bit more lighthearted, because this is really a Frankenstein movie. Does it keep in with the canon? I don't know.
Well, what's weird is none of the Frankenstein movies actually keep with the canon, right? Like, even the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein starring De Niro, right? Because the actual Frankenstein story is pretty, right? Like, the Frankenstein's monster doesn't have that big of a role, right? He kind of runs off.
Right.
Like, I haven't read the book, but I remember, like, someone telling me that, the monster runs off for a good portion of it, so that's why they have to change it up so much, like, even when you're trying to stay faithful to it.
Have you seen the originals?
You know what's funny? Jen just rented it for your guys' podcast, and I realized that I have not seen the original. I think I've seen about 40 minutes of Karloff's original Mummy, which is awesome.
Well, in the original, like, one with Boris Karloff, it's like there were many scenes in there where I was like, man, they are really keeping to the script. So in the original, in the black and white versions, you do see it. So,
so even though they still have to change it to make it more frightening, it does have some stuff like the
the blind man.
Like,
I was like,
hanging out with the little girl and,
yeah.
Oh, the blind man is from the novel. That's because that's even in the
from what I remember.
Mel Brooks version.
And I have a pretty shit show memory. So, but.
Man, that might be the only Frankenstein movie I've seen, actually, is Young Frankenstein, now that I think about it.
Oh, Young Frankenstein? I forgot about that one. That would have been a good one to start us off.
Which is funny, since, it's funny that's the only one I've seen, since, so much of what people love about that is that it's so precise of a parody of the Universal ones, so it's weird having only seen that. I mean, I guess that's what works so well about Mel Brooks movies, is that they still work as parodies, even if you haven't seen what they're referencing.
Yeah. All right.
I've never seen Young Frankenstein, but a lot of people like it.
I mean, you haven't seen, movies that came out before 2009.
I was busy being cool. What were you doing?
Watching old movies.
All right, Jen, start us off. What I wanted to do was, I wanted to know, instead of what have you been watching, I want to know what you will be watching, because there's a shit ton of shows that are coming out, like, right now, as we are a bit delayed because you had to catch your new episode of The Good Place, huh?
You know what? I did. I don't feel bad about it. I'm loving this season. They're really playing with form. It's really great. Thor wandered through at one point while still watching Victor Frankenstein. Wants to get in right under the wire, but I'm telling you, it is so good. They have set up such an interesting season. I'm very excited. I would tell you what's happening, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody. And Superstore came back tonight. Got to watch that.
I've been seeing commercials for that one.
Yeah. They also are bringing back Will and Grace, and like I'm kind of on the fence if I want to try watching it, because on the one hand, it's probably going to be terrible, but on the other hand, I saw Megan Mullally in concert, and she was real cool.
Yeah. The Graveyard Queen has been watching Will and Grace. But it just seems like really boring. It's just...
I never really watched it when it was on TV.
That's the one that stars Will.i.am, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only... So, Will and Grace, Will always seemed like a cool character, but I never watched it just because, like, Jack seemed like such a stereotype that just seemed like not really, doing any favors to the LGBT movement, though I guess just having openly gay characters on TV at that time was, revolutionary, but it's kind of like, is that, good if it's, such a, stereotype? But the one good line from the trailers now is Jack sitting there on Grindr, and he's like, wow, there's a gay guy within 10 feet of me, and then he looks over Will and he goes, oh, and then...
That is funny. No, so anyway, so part of me is like, I'm probably going to try to watch it, and then part of me is like, what if I made my friends watch it first, and then they could tell me if it's any good?
Yeah.
See, that's my reaction with all media is I'm just like, oh man, what if I just read the Rotten Tomatoes, and then I read so many reviews, I'm just like, oh, I don't have to see this now.
Yeah.
But, we're starting to get into good movie season. I'm pretty excited about that.
Good TV season.
Good, I'm sorry. Good TV, but also good movies.
Yeah.
All the stuff that gets nominated for Oscars. But the thing that I think the movie that I want to see maybe this weekend with my mom is the new one about Billie Jean King, the tennis star. Against Steve Carell.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he was a real guy, not Steve Carell. But I cannot remember. Oh, Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, and who's the girl in that?
About it on what?
Who's the girl in the?
It's Emma Stone and Steve Carell.
Emma Stone, yes.
Yeah, and so the early reviews that I was, podcasts I was listening to about the Toronto Film Festival,
name drop,
all seemed to like it. So,
What's the podcast you were listening to?
Pop Culture Happy Hour.
Okay.
Not the most recent episode, but maybe like 2 back. They were talking about movies that everyone saw at the Toronto Film Festival. Yeah. They didn't invite us, but that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Toronto Film Festival has the least cool acronym. You have like, what is it? SXSW for South by Southwest. I totally messed that up. It's, but Toronto Film Festival is TIFF, which is not fun. Like,
it does sound like a report you have to file.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you're looking forward to watching?
I mean, movies and TV, I think. How about you?
That was so specific.
I have one movie that I am looking forward to, like, I cannot wait, is Blade Runner. It's coming out the first week of October, and I am already planning on... I'm trying to figure out which theater I want to see it at, and I'm so excited because the reviews are coming in, and people are saying it's phenomenal, and I'm just like, I can't contain myself. I am really also looking forward to Mr. Robot coming back on for the next season. That's the series that, like, I really had a difficult time jumping into, but I've really grown to really appreciate it. So, we're even going to get some, a month of, I think, Sling to watch that, because we don't know any other way to watch it. But, and I wanted to drop a podcast that I've been listening to called, Steal the Stars. I had to get, I didn't need to get, but I got a premium subscription to Stitcher, and while I was digging around on there, I found this one called Steal the Stars, and it's just, it's like a radio drama about, like, this alien in a bunker, and this private investor who's like, I want to shut you guys down. It's not very good, but it is so intriguing, and it's got aliens, so it's like, of course I'm going to be into it. So, but yeah, and I haven't been watching a whole lot because I've been getting a backlog of Frankenstein movies down. So, Thor, how about yourself?
Well, first of all, I'm excited to watch the original Boris Karloff Frankenstein. It's definitely been a big hole in my horror movie cred that I hadn't seen that yet. Yeah. So, glad I'm going to be watching that, whether I'm on the episode or not.
Did you guys rent the movie, or how did you get it?
Yeah, we got it from the library. It's sitting on the kitchen counter. Very excited.
What else are you looking for? What are you looking forward to watching?
Other than that, I am pretty.
You okay?
Yeah. All the thoughts I had just immediately left my head.
we could come back at a later time.
Right. It's just there's so much coming out right now. It's all a little overwhelming,
and it's so exciting.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to Blade Runner coming out?
I am, but let's call it cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really cool, but I mean, I know I'm going to really like it, like, when I first get out of the movie theater.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 weeks later, I'll probably be like, oh, yeah, that movie was fucking terrible.
I don't know. 'Cause when I saw Trainspotting...
One of the things the Bloody Good Horror podcast was pointing out that all the scenes in the trailer of Harrison Ford, he's in, like, the same room.
Yeah.
So even though he's, like, billed second, they're worried that he's only going to be in, like, the last, like, 10 minutes of the movie, which wouldn't necessarily be bad. And the other thing that's lame is the original choice for the villain was David Bowie, but he was too busy being dead.
Yeah.
So now it's Jared Leto. So I think that's what makes me a lot less excited, because Jared Leto's terrible at things.
I'm not excited about the casting of most of the characters, but for some reason all these trailers and just the whole atmosphere is drawing me in. And Gosling, I think, is going to bring it together.
I love the first movie so much, and I think Gosling's going to be great as the sort of, as Harrison, as a similar role to Harrison Ford in the first movie, where he's just this very, film noir-esque, like down on his luck detective that just gets the shit beat out of him in every scene.
Right.
Looking forward to that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking for, actually, speaking of Blade Horror, they're playing Reanimator in Milwaukee at the end of October, so I'm looking forward to seeing that on the big screen. And then beyond that, honestly, three billboards outside of Evans, Montana, Missouri.
I have no idea.
You haven't heard of this?
I don't live in
New Francis McDormand movie? It's from the guy that wrote In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths. It looks fantastic.
Wait, is it called Three Billboards?
The three billboards outside of, like, Ibbins, Montana, or...
Well, I thought you were talking about actual billboards.
No, that's the name of the movie.
We haven't been there.
Yeah, no, the name of the movie
Three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Missouri, thank you. Not Montana. So it's Francis McDormand,
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. Peter Dinklage, Sam Rockwell, what's his name from Cheers and The Hunger Games.
This movie looks serious.
Yeah, it's serious, but it's the guy that did Seven Psychopaths, so it does have, like, some comedic elements. But yeah, it's very serious. It looks very serious. It's Francis McDormand's daughter is raped and murdered, and there's no, like, leads in the case, so she takes out. I did hear about this. Yeah.
Oh, they talked about it for the Toronto Film Festival.
Yeah.
They said it was good.
Oh, and what is it? The Shape? I think you said Toronto Film Festival, even though you said it like 10 minutes ago. Now that you said it again, it reminded me. Thank you. Now I'm remembering things I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
thanks,
coming
guys.
back.
It's slowly coming back to me. The Shape of Water from Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm excited for that. That's one of those movies that, like, I've just seen, like, the still for that involves, like, a monster or something.
That looks awesome.
Like, okay, monster in a rubber suit, Guillermo del Toro. I'm not even going to watch the trailer for this. I'm going to try and, like, not find out information about this because I just want to fucking see this movie without...
How did you see it?
What? Oh no, I haven't seen it yet. I mean, like, I want to try and learn as little about it as possible between.
I can't
now
believe
and,
I have not heard of this because this looks sick.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited for that. That's one of those ones that I'm worried I'm gonna, like I said, I'm excited for that, and I'm so worried that because it doesn't come out I think it's gonna get its award season release at Christmas, which means we probably won't get it. In theaters actually near our house until end of January.
Oh my God.
So I'm so worried I'll give in and just watch the trailer a million times. Which I feel like for a movie like that, you'll see all the cool shit like that was.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, super excited for those two.
Cool.
And then, oh yeah. So actually, speaking of one final thing about upcoming movies, did you guys see that? So they just finally cast that Venom movie that Sony's been threatening to make. Oh yeah,
Matt Hardy or
yeah, exactly. Tom Hardy,
yeah,
and friggin' what's her name? Michelle Williams. From
Did they show? Did they release any stills or just the announcement?
No, that's what's crazy is they literally just cast the two of them, and it's coming out October 5th, 2018, which seems like not enough time to make a movie, considering they literally just cast them and haven't started making a movie or writing a script.
Oh my gosh, dude, fanboys are not going to be able to control themselves because there's so much potential, and I think there's a lot of hype about this that they're gonna have to make this sick because Venom is such a cool and badass thing.
Yeah, the only and I think they've already chosen a director, but the only way they could pull off making this movie in a year would be if they hired George Miller. Since him and Tom Hardy already made Mad Max with no script, they can just bring him in and he's like, okay, don't worry, I got this. And him and Tom Hardy will just come back a month later with a completed movie.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking forward to seeing who the villain is in this. Because Venom has such a crazy backstory. He's been a good guy, he's been a bad guy, and actually, I think more so, he's just a straight up good guy.
Yeah, because he got so popular, so they just gave him his own comic where he ran around San Francisco. The rumor is the villain will be Carnage, which will be lame because he's just Venom except red.
But he's much more psycho though and uncontrollable.
Yeah, but they're not gonna, unless it's rated R, they're not gonna get into that. They're not gonna have drink his blood or anything
Yeah. Oh man, that's exciting. Thanks for sharing that.
My vote would be what's his name, the Living Vampire. I think.
Dr. Morbius, man.
Yeah,
head of the Midnight Suns. Yeah, that's. I have no hope that he is ever going to come to the big screen. But yeah, he is. He's one of my top 3 favorite superheroes or comic book characters. He's sick.
Yeah, he's badass. Speaking of doctors, Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh man! All right, let's get into the main portion of this podcast. I said before,
I do not know what a venom is.
Jen is about to walk out of the room.
I already have, dude.
No, for the next few podcasts that will be released, the All New Culture Cast will be original Frankenstein related. And since Nick was very excited about this, he did lend me all of his Frankenstein movies to get a backlog. I wanted to do something similar to Frankenstein, and I figured the first thing that came into my head was because I wanted to get Jen interested in this because I have a feeling she's gonna have a difficult time getting through these really old movies.
This is what you gave her to get her interested in it?
Yes, because I was thinking 2 good-looking guys in a Frankenstein movie. I know the Graveyard Queen just loves McAvoy, and that is the only way that I could get her to watch a horror movie is if it had McAvoy in it.
Can I just tell the audience that last night both you and the Graveyard Queen were texting me to find out if I thought Daniel Radcliffe or James McAvoy were more attractive.
Yeah, we were getting in an overflowing argument that we were like, we can't settle this between ourselves, and we paused the movie.
I want the internet to know the answer is Daniel Radcliffe. Radcliffe, and here's why.
You've now mispronounced both their names, so I can tell this is something you're really passionate about.
I am definitely passionate about it, and here's why. Did you see the scene in the movie where he was dancing and he looked really dumb? That was great.
Just wait, which scene? Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Daniel
probably...
Radcliffe has Hurley from Lost hair in this movie.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Never seen Lost. It seemed really boring.
Okay, yeah, we're going to be jumping all around the place. But I was thinking that the clothes that they were wearing...
He'd tell us to go over the plot.
What's it?
If Nick were here, he'd tell us to go over the plot.
Okay, here's the plot. These two guys have a bromance, and they build, like, the monkey puppy baby from that commercial from a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then, like, this guy who looks way too much like Seth MacFarlane breaks into their lab, and then they hang out with these guys who are clearly supposed to be Nazis, except then they remember their movie was set in the 1800s. And
they were so Nazis, and it just, like, came out of nowhere. Like, I guess this is the villain now. Okay.
Yeah. They have a freaking German eagle on their carriage. The son's super Aryan. The dad is Aryan with a blonde handlebar mustache. Except for some reason their last name's Finnegan and they're from Scotland. That didn't make any sense. Like, I don't know what was up with that.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy to have them be wealthy Germans. Like, it would have been so. I don't know why they.
They weren't necessary at all. They're not in the canon. They're not in the film. Why?
There's no. Like, there was no. You're right. There was no reason there. I mean, I guess they decided that. Okay, so at the end of this movie, like how every other version of Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein and Igor in the lab, by themselves creating Frankenstein, and it's like cool. Well, what if it was, like the end of a James Bond movie with like 1 million fucking henchmen? Wouldn't that be lame as shit? Said apparently no one involved in the production of this movie because that's what they did.
Yeah. But what I was getting to is that their outfits in this were like, they were spot on. They were, I don't know, like Victorian or something. But then their hairstyles and their facial hairstyles were just ugly as shit. Like, the best part is I was reading about how Daniel Radcliffe had to wear hair extensions for this whole movie, and I was like, why? Why on earth did his character have to have long hair? There was literally no reason. Also, there's a scene early on where James McAvoy is like, and give yourself a haircut. And then he cuts off like a half an inch of his stupid hair. And I'm like, why does this character still have stupid long hair? Yeah, I mean, get a full beard, get a mustache. I don't know if it's personal preference, but this goatee was just like ugly as shit on McAvoy. I was like,
And it definitely, I was trying to look and see if McAvoy was filming some other movie at the time where he had a goatee, but that clearly wasn't.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
That definitely wasn't it, because I was looking and he wasn't in any other movies around. This was filmed in 2014, and he wasn't in anything else around that time that he had to have a goatee for. So it just doesn't make any sense. Because they have that line in, what's it called, Atomic Blonde over the summer where he has a buzz cut, and they have this line where they... Yeah, they'll have a line where Sergei Saran goes, he said he shaved his head to blend in with the East Germans, and they toss, I haven't read this, but I assume they tossed that line in because his hair's that short because he had to shave it for X-Men because he was bald in the X-Men movie, yeah. But yeah, no, there's no damn reason he has a goatee. There's no damn reason Daniel Radcliffe has long hair. There's no reason for his love interest to even be in this movie.
Oh yeah, Lorelai.
If it had been straight up an actual romance between the two of them, it would have been a stronger movie.
It's not necessary. Well, it could have been done well because these are two very complicated characters. They're complex. The movie is about 3 people. It's not about anything else other than them and science. And so throwing a love interest in there, it could work, but it felt tacked on. There was no point to it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it added zero value to anything in it.
I have to say, I'm all for more roles for women and more great hats for women.
She did have great outfits.
She had great outfits.
And the actress did a good job.
She's in Harlots, which I love. She's amazing on that show.
I kept on thinking it was Liv Tyler, honestly, the entire time.
It was the chick from Downton Abbey, which I've never seen. But I have seen Harlots, which she was on.
Yeah.
And anyway, so she was great. But definitely this movie was, one of them was playing it like it was a romance between the two dudes. Like, no one told James there was going to be a love interest for Harry Potter.
Yeah. And that would have been quite a twist that I would have been like, good twist.
Especially since they did have her reference a gay character in the movie. So, like, clearly people were aware.
Yeah.
You could have just made them love interests.
Yeah. Also, I'd like when I looked up Jessica Brown Findlay, the actress who plays Lorelai. She played a character named.
I don't recognize anything that she's been in.
I don't either. But
but she was in Black Mirror, the Netflix series.
Oh, interesting. So in her little top paragraph description on Wikipedia, it says that she is known for her role as Amelia Conan Doyle in the 2011 British film Albatross. Yeah. And I'm like, no shit, is that some movie about Arthur Conan Doyle? And I got really excited. But no, it's just the character's name in a modern coming of age film that's unrelated. She was in a Black Mirror episode, which is on Netflix, and that one was like, all of these Black Mirror episodes are so intense, and I was just gonna watch like one just to see what it was about, but I ended up watching the series like so fast. It was sick, but I was so intrigued with it, and it's an excellent series, but you can't really be, faint at heart for that. The only thing I know about that show, I haven't watched it at all. The only thing I know about it is that the first episode's about the Prime Minister of England having sex with a pig.
Oh my gosh. And it's so sick because, it happens and then it doesn't stop. It's like, oh my gosh.
And then what was it, like 6 months after that episode came out, it was revealed that the Prime Minister of England had sex with a dead pig in his fraternity. Because, of course, he had.
Okay,
real life.
Okay, I stopped listening for like 2 minutes, and suddenly you guys are talking about dead pig fucking.
All right.
Well,
let's get back to it.
Oh, that's
Black Mirror.
Okay. I was I do not remember this scene, but maybe I just wasn't watching.
No, Black Mirror. But then in real life, dead pig fucking.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, not the current one, but one of the Prime Minister of England like 3 years ago had sex with a dead pig.
All right,
you heard it here first. Anyway, back to Victor Frankenstein.
Jen, how did you? What were your first impressions of the movie?
Oh, this was silly.
Did you enjoy it? I mean, you got to watch some eye candy for an hour and a half, right?
But they were yelling at each other a lot of the time and playing with dead parts the rest of the time. Like, I understand what you were going for, but like, I don't think my eye candy generally is like wrist deep in a dead guy,
Okay. But can we just say, McAvoy was spitting so much. Like, every 15 minutes, he was like yelling and spitting at something.
Like, I feel like he prepared for more movie than Daniel Radcliffe prepared for. I just feel like they were given different scripts or different, they were directed to different levels, and it was fine. Yeah. But it definitely, you know how, a good movie feels coherent? And there were just parts of this movie that just felt like, the director had just thrown up his hands and gone I don't know, whatever. Just
Well, so with this movie, I think it actually had some really clever direction. The shot. There's a couple of shots where literally I had stepped away from my computer and then I was like, okay, it's so obvious just from the dialogue how that shot was framed that I like went and rewound and, to see if I was right. And I was like, yep, that's exactly how that shot was going to be framed.
Yeah.
But then there were other times like when they're in German Scottish guy's study and they do that shot of Daniel Radcliffe being like all alone, and they do that nice shot of like the whole ceiling. And like probably the top third of the frame is of the ceiling, and that was really cool. And there's a couple of like when the monkey's running around, there's a couple of nice shots where like the background's in focus and the monkey's in the front and it's blurry. Like I actually blame this movie. I think the actors were good. I think the direction overall was good. Sometimes it fell into that sort of like Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock thing where like the colors were like sort of, I think, the way we think of the 1800s because of like paintings as opposed to like how the 1800s actually looked. Like I don't think the 1800s were actually that soupy, like they're, you could have had, which is why I like their outfits. Like I liked that their outfits were so colorful. I feel like that was a nice touch, but like the, so the color schemes of the buildings and stuff, I was like, everything doesn't need to be that green, guys, like you don't need to.
There was always a lot happening in the shots. Like, clearly the set decorator had like a lot of fun creating
but sometimes to its detriment though.
Right, it was definitely like it was sometimes hard to follow what was happening. I actually think the action scenes weren't too badly shot. Like they weren't trying to do 17 quick cuts and 27
and I liked how much
fighting
it was practical
and stuff,
effects.
Right, so like that was all good, but like at the same time sometimes I would just look at the screen and just be like, I don't know what to look at, there's so much
So the main thing I disliked about that was the color, which I guess is partly a cinematography thing, but obviously the director's, telling the cinematographer what color he wants things. But the main thing I didn't like was the script. I felt like the script was all over the place. It was 9 different tones. I was shocked to see it was written by one person. Then I saw it was written by Max Landis, who is incredibly insufferable if you've ever seen him in interviews. He is the son of John Landis, who directed Animal House and American Wolf in London, which are great, and then killed people with a helicopter, which is not great, and then produced Max Landis, which is also not great. So Max Landis did Chronicle, which wrote Chronicle, which got him attention. But he just really seems, like just very like full of himself and insufferable, and just like thinks that all of his ideas are fucking awesome. So, and since his dad is, a washed up director, but still a famous director, I feel like he doesn't have to like, revise stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like that explains a lot of the tonal inconsistencies in this movie.
I could see that,
yeah. And
one thing that I think was the best part about this movie was the science that they really applied to it, and the grossness of all of these things. Because I think the monkey really showed you just what a dead creature combined from dead parts would really look like. Like it would, Frankenstein is like a contiguous body, even though I think that it really should look like the monkey, where it's just like falling apart and like not really a consistent body form.
Yeah. And I was kind of disappointed when the monkey, it was so great when it's like on the slab, and when they just reanimate it in the lab and it's just kind of like groaning, but once it gets up and they have it CGIing around, it totally just starts looking like a regular monkey. Like they have the couple of different textures on the face and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the mechanics, the way they had it move, it was clearly like the sort of CGI skeleton underneath was all one consistent movement. And I felt like it would have been way cooler and made way more sense if it had like a couple of different like, rates of movement, because its arms and legs are different sizes and that kind of thing. I thought that would have been way cooler. But I don't think anyone was thinking that hard. That's the thing too. I shouldn't say that. The CGI guys probably were thinking about that, and then it's one of those things where they maybe do that, and then they're like, oh, but is the audience going to get that? When something's moving that fast, like does something we're putting this much thought into look good? For something that's only on screen for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely did pick up the pace very quickly at that moment.
Yeah, which I didn't think was necessary. I thought it would have been better if everything had taken... And I guess that was the problem is... So this was a $40 million movie, and I think they tried to make it look like a $100 million movie in terms of, like, everything took place in, like, 5 different... Every time anything happened, it took place in, like, 5 different rooms. Yeah. And I think if more of it had been at their lab... like I would have been more interested, and I think you could have like really explored that lab more. And then same with like when the monkey goes nuts at the school, that scene was so much more suspenseful when like, you know, when they set fire, they set the fire to try and get it away from the girl. But then when it just starts running around the school, there's no suspense because it's just going all over the place. Mm-hmm. So to me, if they'd been like trapped in that room and they're like, oh, they like barricade the door because they want the monkey to get out, but then the monkey's like going nuts in that room, in that one room, to me, well, that would, one, would have been cheaper, and two, would have looked like, would have been more suspenseful to the audience. So I feel like that was the problem, is a lot of times they tried to make stuff bigger because I felt like they felt like it would be more impressive, but instead just got rid of the tension. Like when I was talking about at the end, when they had the 1 million people being involved in the building of the Frankenstein monster, who all disappear as soon as he gets struck by lightning, and they don't address that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah. So like that to me like ruined all the suspense, because when like the inspector shows up, I'm like, did none of the like 3,000 henchmen who were leaving think to punch that dude in the face as he was wandering in with a gun? Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, it made everything seems, you know, the times they were trying to go for horror, everything seemed less intense because everything was so big, you know, like even when Victor and the Seth MacFarlane looking inspector are fighting next to like the giant, you know, CGI machine, and they're punching each other, there's these nice close shots from behind the machine where the giant wheel is clearly practical.
Yeah.
And it's like tense, and I'm like, oh man, he's gonna like catch the inspector's hand in that, and it's gonna be gross and scary. But then they cut to the big shot where it's all clearly CGI, and it like gets rid of all the tension because they're clearly just fighting in front of a big pile of CGI.
Yeah.
So, and yet again, that's the expensive part. So I felt like a lot of times when they tried to go for the big stuff, it was lame looking, and if they just kept the movie smaller, it would have been better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's weird is this guy directed Lucky Number 11, which is not.
Oh, he directed it also?
Yeah. This is the same guy, Paul McGuinn.
Yeah.
Which is a movie. It's not a good movie at all, but is a movie that does exactly what I'm talking about. Where like, I think like every scene in that movie is just like 3 or 4 people in a room, like exchanging witty dialogue, and then one of them shoots, you know, the other 3 people, you know, like, and that movie does a very good job of, you know, using its low budget to create tension. Like there's
Josh
like,
Hartnett, man, he's great.
Yeah, this guy clearly at some point was like the only person that Josh Hartnett like tried for, because that's like the only movie Josh Hartnett's at all good in, is that one.
What happened to Josh Hartnett?
What's that?
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's apparently a real douche to work with, so
Yeah.
stop bothering. He was actually, so that guy directed Josh Hartnett in that, and then before that he directed Josh Hartnett in Wicker Park, which I believe takes place in Chicago, right?
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah. Wicker Park has Diane Kruger and Matthew Lillard in it? Shit, maybe I need to see that.
I'm always down for a Josh Hartnett movie. I've been wanting to rewatch.
Up in conversation.
What's that?
He just said, I'm always down for a Josh Hartnett movie, and I said, that's never come up in conversation.
No, I've been trying to find that Titanic movie. No, Pearl Harbor.
God, why? Have you checked, like, I don't know, the nearest landfill?
Hey,
actually, Wicker Park.
When you do see it, you do a special half-hour podcast where you chastise yourself for watching it.
yes. But Rose Byrne is actually in Wicker Park, the movie, and
wow. So that was
I was like, how do you know where she is?
So Wicker Park, Diane Kruger, that was like the first movie for either of them, and like the last movie for Matthew Lillard or Josh Hartnett. Like,
oh man, yeah, Wicker Park. After Frankenstein season comes to a close, I'm gonna add it onto the queue.
like that. Wasn't that part of that like teen era or like thriller revival? Wasn't that one of those?
It looks like it.
Yeah, and I think that was like around the same time as Keanu Reeves is the Watcher.
Oh, I don't recall that. I remember the cover, but I don't know much else. Okay. All right. What else? What other thoughts do we have on Frankenstein? Victor Frankenstein. Obviously the monster, well, I guess not obviously, but the monster really doesn't come into play until the, like, last 15 minutes, which...
What was crazy, and I know this because I watched the last fucking, like, 8 minutes of this one while we were talking to you, but before we started recording, the fucking monster comes in with, not counting the end credits, with like 8 minutes left in this movie and dies 4 minutes later.
Yeah. But it really gets you to focus on, like, I think the movie may have been more powerful if they just never showed him or just kept him underneath a cloth and just, I don't know. I think it would have added a good element to it, because now I just can't stop seeing just this rubber-suited guy that's just...
Like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer had better, like, rubber suits than the rubber suit for the Frankenstein in this. For the Frankenstein monster.
And it's just, they just found some really buff and huge guy and just cast him and shaved his body and gave it to him.
It's apparently the strongman from the beginning of the movie. I'm not even joking.
Oh no, is it?
Yeah, it's the strongman in a rubber suit. Also, I like that the scene in another drastic change in tone. They go from Charles Dance fucking chastising Victor Frankenstein to them drinking 2 entire bottles of whiskey while designing their monster in like this montage that seems like it's out of a fucking like college movie. Like it seems like we're suddenly in a different movie, which happens about 30 times in this movie where it seems like we're suddenly in a different movie. And then when he's like, we're gonna make his head flat, and Igor's like, why? And he's like, because I like it. But then, in this huge continuity error, every time they cut back to the shot of the drawing of the body, the head on top is still round, and he hasn't drawn that line across.
I don't know. The obligatory dog intrusion. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute, though.
Yeah, which was just so obvious and lame.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were so many parts of this movie where it seemed like no one was trying. And then, as Jen was pointing out with, like, James McAvoy, or as, like, you were pointing out with the costumes, there were so many parts of this movie where it seemed like people were trying just way, way, way harder than they needed to. Yeah. And it's, okay. Another thing that bothered me, when he goes, oh, this back brace is for, what does he call his monkey, Gordon? When he goes, oh, this back brace for Gordon, and then the monkey still has a back brace. But then when Igor has sex, Igor still has the back brace.
Oh, they just switch it on and off.
So that was my question, right? Yeah. So is that what we're supposed to imply? Igor's like, he's like, Igor, can you go lie in bed for a while? The monkey needs the back brace.
I guess part of what's weird about this movie is I'm not super clear, like, who the audience was for it.
Right.
Like, it was never... Like, sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, oh, they made this movie for, like, college kids, or, like, women who aspire to romance, or, something like that. Like, there's some obvious... But, like, who was this movie for? Like,
it wasn't made for gorehounds like myself, because... Like, yes, there is a good amount of gore in this, but at the same time, this was like PG-13, right?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
I guess there was some violence, but I don't even feel like it was that. I don't know.
Hey, I was looking up it's funny, I was looking up the marketing for this, and there's only like 2 sentences about the marketing on Wikipedia, and I realized that I wrote one of them.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. The note about Max Landis appearing on Red Letter Media to promote it. I added that a few years ago.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is PG-13.
I didn't even know you knew about Wikipedia.
One of the things, one of the stronger points was the interactions and the words that they communicated with each other. Like the very first scene where they save Lorelai after she is falling to her impending doom. They save her, and the like back and forth between them. I'm like, it really melds them together as a great team, and they continue to do that.
It's one of the 0 times that Daniel Radcliffe gets to employ his medical vision. Like, they set that up like it's going to be a thing that keeps happening, and then it only happens again at the very end when he knows to stab Frankenstein through his heart. Which, first of all, Frankenstein's monster, has 4 lungs and 2 hearts. Just stab him anywhere in the chest, man. You're going to hit something important. It doesn't actually kill him, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Does he have to stab them in both hearts?
I forget. Yeah, what's it end up? What ends up happening? Doesn't just push him over?
So how does he die? The monster die? I don't recall.
I think the monster gets bored and just wanders over to a better movie. He wanders into the next Underworld movie.
Oh, I think they just stabbed him a whole bunch of times, and then he just like dies in a kneeling position. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, did you guys enjoy this movie?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
I think I would have enjoyed it more if I'd been drinking.
Yeah.
But I mean, would I have paid $10 for it? No. Did I mind watching it on HBO for free? It still could have used some editing, but it wasn't too bad. You know?
Yeah, if it had been 90 minutes, it actually would have been fun.
And, I do think that the costumes and the sets and everything were, interesting to look at.
They were fun. I think that there wasn't really a direction in this. Like, the antagonists, the Germans at the end, it's like, why are they here? This is the movie about Victor Frankenstein, not about his monster.
And then the cop, was another dead end. He could have been interesting. I think a big mistake was moving it to that whole other place at the end. I think they set up I keep complaining about, they set up that lab, and I think if they had 80% of the action take place in the lab, I think it would have been way cooler. If the final conflict had been in that lab between just him and Igor building their monster and the cop, I think that could have been more interesting.
Mm-hmm. But it did click with me, the whole Frankenstein universe, it doesn't exist in the middle of a city, like a bustling city like they were. Like, it really does exist in this castle.
Yeah, but that's why I liked it, was that it was different. And then they're just like, oh, hey, remember how we were going to do shit different? We got afraid, so the castle,
Yeah. Because yes, the monster would have caused a huge ruckus in the city, and it really would have given it a different turn, because it really does deserve to be in a castle or a very isolated environment.
See, I don't know, that could have been cool if we the only good part of the Benicio del Toro version of the Wolfman is when he turns into a werewolf in Piccadilly Circus and upends that carriage and eats everyone in it in a homage to American Werewolf in London, which Max Landis' dad wrote. So if anyone could rip that off without anyone getting pissed off about it, it would be this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not enjoy this movie, but I think...
Yeah, so those are the things. Yeah, you're right. It's boldly you're right, it's not good. But I weirdly enough, I shouldn't have enjoyed it, but it was better directed than I thought it was going to be. Going into it, I think I had such low expectations, and I heard how terrible it was, and so I liked the two of them together more than I thought I would, so that carried me through a lot of it, and I had, I think part of it was I just had a lot of fun, sort of like laughing at the dumb parts, and then just enjoying the parts that were fun. I also I liked that, when they got to which, first of all, we didn't have enough of a payoff with the inspector guy losing his hand. We get the one shot of him with the the wooden hand, but like I wanted way more. I wanted him to like backhand Frankenstein with his new wooden hand.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but when he's talking to his boss and his boss is sending him on medical leave for him going crazy, and he's like, you stormed Victor Frankenstein's house without a warrant, and I love that him storming his house is like 400 police officers with a literal giant battering ram, and I'm like, how did he get all these cops together without a warrant?
Yeah.
Just like wander into Scotland Yard and be like, hey, bring your giant battering ram.
Yeah, we're breaking into somebody's house, let's do this shit.
Yeah, like...
I would have joined in.
Yeah, in the 1800s, anyone could just walk into Scotland Yard and be like, battering ram time, it's gonna be fun.
The movie is not good, but I must admit, this is the third time I've seen it. And
how can you say you didn't enjoy it if you've watched it 3 times?
It's one of those movies that I'm just like, I'm intrigued in watching this. It's just like Congo, where it's like, this movie is not good, but there's just a lot of things about it that I'm like, I want to watch that again. I don't know.
I think this movie exists to be played on airplanes.
Yeah.
Actually, Congo's a great comparison.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're like, Congo's not good at all. And yeah, that's similar. We're like, and yeah, that also has kind of a fun production design and fun characters that I like, but like, is a just laughably stupid movie.
Right.
So, Jen, Congo is from the writer of Doubt.
What?
Yeah, like for real. From like the Academy Award winning writer of Doubt, who I think already had an Academy Award, and they like handed in this Michael Crichton book Congo after Jurassic Park was a big hit, and they were like, hey, do you want to make this into a movie? And he was like, no, this book's terrible. And they were like, well, Jurassic Park's a big hit, we'll pay you like $1 zillion. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So he just wrote this sort of like salute to like, like old like, like 1800s adventure novels kind of things. And then they got the guy who did Arachnophobia to direct it, and friggin' like Ernie Hudson plays the like guide to Africa to make it less racist, and the movie's just over the top ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, what's his name?
Did that come out when we were like 10?
Yeah, it's the greatest movie ever. And what's his name? Delroy Lindo, right? Is one of the like the guy in charge of like the area they're trying to explore, right? Who they have to try and impress, and Tim Curry plays this like creepy like Eastern European guy who just keeps like accidentally insulting him. It's great, Jen. Laura Linney's in it for some reason, and she uses a laser to blow up a satellite. Like she just points a laser at a satellite at the end, and she's like, fuck you to her boss, and blows up a satellite like just from Earth, like freehand.
What?
Yeah.
Jen, you should watch this one. It's
like you do.
Like you do.
Yeah. We'll have to do an hour of Thunder of that sometime, and bring you on, Jen. And
yeah. All right. I think we have exhausted this topic. I have no final thoughts. How about you guys?
Oh wait! I got one more thing to say.
Let's hear it.
The scene where he gets thrown, where Igor gets thrown into the river. And then we cut to him in bed, and he's all like weak. And then his girlfriend's like, "You've been in bed for days, and now you want to go rescue, or now you want to go see Victor."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Why has he been in bed for days? He got thrown in a river."
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have any injuries or anything. Like from what the.
Yeah, that's a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah, they don't set it up that it was like winter or something. They don't set it up that he got like pneumonia. It's just he's like, oh my god, that river was so gross. Can't stop thinking about the river. The other thing they didn't set up was, or they didn't sort of follow through on, was the when he has like that dream about like him being the specimen on the table, and how like Victor's controlling him. That was an interesting thread, but I think they were worried about making Victor not seem like a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think Victor, I think Victor just, was glad to have someone that, had similar interests and similar expertise. And, I think there's a way to have Victor be guilting him without, while still being a flawed, but still being redeemable. And I felt like they kind of copped out on that. And, after a few of her saying like, oh, you have to tell him that he has to stop. And then he's just like, oh, well, I'm not going with you. And then he's like, oh, Victor, I feel really bad. I'm going to come to your castle. And then Victor's, as soon as the Frankenstein thing gets animated, Victor's like, oh, shit, this thing's not life. I fucked up. Like, I felt like that was the total cop-out, too, was Victor should have, he should have been way more into this thing he created. I felt like, it was kind of a bummer, and then at the end he's just like, boom, I'm going to do it again, but with a brain. It's like, really? You didn't think of that the first time, Victor?
Yeah.
Like, man.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how come both times when he's going to say his name, instead it's a goddamn title card? Like, what's up with that? Does he just walk around with title cards to throw at people? Like,
oh yeah.
He has like one of those guys that like flips around signs really cool that you'll see in like Times Square, who like comes out and like throws a sign at you before Victor says his name.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm done.
I don't believe you.
Jen.
Try it again, Gorehound. Say, well, to wrap things up, and he'll just be like, wait, here's 7 more thoughts.
Alright, so in Congo, they were going to use CGI on the gorillas, but they couldn't do fur, so instead they just had people in gorilla costumes.
Oh I think the equivalent of the stupid ape Amy is about as entertaining as Daniel Radcliffe's haircut in this movie. Both of them are just that stupid. But it's like, you just keep on coming back to it. It's like, how... What? Why? All right. Jen, you feeling good?
I'm feeling great.
All right.
If Daniel Radcliffe had Billy Ray Cyrus's fucking mullet, it would have been no less distracting.
Yeah. And there's nothing left to be said about their awful haircuts. So, all right, let's wrap this bad boy up. I am the Gorehound.
I'm Jen.
Oh, I was supposed to go second, so Jen could go last.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast. Catch you next week.
You've been to the all-new Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
Fall asleep to death.
Blog at znculturecast.wordpress.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by Ben Saltwater Production. Copyright 2017. Thanks for listening.